What's the most shocking thing someone confessed while on their deathbed? 1. I'm a medical student and I had a female patient who was new to our practice who was HIV positive. I needed to ask her how she got the virus, and if it was transmitted from a person or through IV etc. She tells me it was from her partner, and the only reason she got tested was because her partner of 3 years last words to her as he was passing in hospice was I'm sorry, I wanted to tell you forgive me. Heavy stuff. She has been positive for 20 years, has no symptoms, and is undetectable. All her numbers are great. Medicine has come a long way. 2. My mother passed when I was 11. While she was in hospice at home, my grandmother on my dad's side was standing by the bed. She woke up, pointed and said, "What are you doing here? I never liked you." It sounds heartless, but my grandmother treated her poorly when she was alive. My other grandmother, mom's mom, tried to hold in laughter as she told her she taught her better than that. There were doctors and relatives in the room, so it was chaotic and easy to change the subject according to my father. But I do wonder what it must be like to have that be the last words you hear from someone no longer with us. 3. As my mother lay in her hospice bed waiting to pass, she beckoned me closer to her and said, I've hidden the money, and she was having trouble speaking and getting breath and her voice was cracking. She tried one last time, the money's in the, she closed her eyes, her breath stopped and her head slumped to one side. A few seconds later she burst out laughing. She was pranking me. She actually passed 3 days later. 4. My other uncle had been in a car accident. It was bad. In the ambulance on the way to the hospital he said, "Tell my wife that Wendy is my daughter and I love her." He passed a few minutes later. Wendy was the neighbor's then 5-year-old child. That caused a huge mess, I can tell you. 5. I was told by my father that in addition to 2 other kids he had that I knew of, there were more children of his out there. Also, only 2 of his kids were with the same woman. 4 of them showed up at his service in addition to the other 2, making it a total of 7. We also found out that he may have had other kids elsewhere, but my family kept really poor records of things, so I have never found out who they are. Most of that was word of mouth from old friends of his. Weird note, but all of us got together and now stay in contact. We had a good amount in common and see each other when we can. 6. My uncle's last words were to my aunt. He said, "Don't let the mortician take my gold teeth." 7. My grandpa told my dad he loved him for the first time when he was about to go. Grandpa had a strained relationship with the family, so this was pretty surprising to hear from him. 8. My grandfather was 90. Our entire family would sit with him in his own home, tending to him in shifts, making sure everyone had alone time with him and to all feel needed and loved during his passing. Gramps would regularly point to a spot where no one was and say, "Hello Hazel, they are all here again," and then smile. Or he'd say, "Yes dear, that's Linda's little girl." Hazel was his wife, my grandmother, who had passed away 2 decades prior. The chilling bit was that Grandpa would then turn to us and say, "Oh, I forget you can't see her." 9. My husband's aunt confessed to him on her deathbed that she spiced her tacos with Kroger brand taco seasoning. He's still a little shocked about it sometimes. 10. My dad confessed near the end that we were descended from a race of vampires from Egypt. It was sad seeing his body break down, but heartbreaking to see him lose his mind. I don't wish that on anyone.